सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। मौनमामुरयार काट्टुम मा ब्रह्मवत्तु वालन சிவநிலை தவசற்சீட செறிகுருவரன் சிற்கையன் உவகையோருருவன் தன்னுள் உவப்பவன் கழிமூகத்தன் அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே. We shall read the Mangala Shloka of Ulladu Narpadu Anubandham. எதன் கண்ணே நிலையாகி இருந்திடும் இவ்வுலகமெல்லாம் எதனதெல்லாம் எதனின்றிவனைத்துலகும் எழுமோ மற்றிவையாவும் எதன் பொருட்டாம் எதனால் இவ்வையமெல்லாம் எழுந்திடும் இவ்வெல்லாமும் எதுவேயாகும் அதுதானே உளப்பொருளாம் சத்தியமாம் அச்சொரூபம் அகத்தில் வைப்பாம். Now we shall read from the verse 13. தானம் தவம் வேள்வி தன்மம் யோகம் பக்தி வானம் பொருள் சாந்தி வாய்மையருள் மோன நிலை சாகாமல் சாவு சார்துறவு வீடின்பம் தேகான்ம பாவமரத்தேர் வினயும் விபத்தி வியோகமஜ்ஞானம் இணையவை யார்க்கென்றாய்ந்திடலே வினைபக்தி யோகமுணர் வாய்ந்திட நான் நின்றியவை என்றுமிரா தான ஆன் ஆகமன மேல் மேயுண்மையாம் மனலேயுண்மையாம் சத்தியினார் தாமியங்கும் தன்மையுணராதகில சித்திகனால் சேர்வமென சேட்டிக்கும் பித்தர் கூத்து என்னை எழுப்பிவிடில் எம்மட்டித்தெவ்வரன சொன்னமுடவன் கதையின் சோடு சித்தத்தின் சாந்தியதே சித்தமாமுத்தியனில் சித்தத்தின் செய்கையின்றி சித்தியா சித்திகளில் சித்தம் சேர்வாரெங்கண் சித்த கலக்கந்தீர் முத்தி சுகம் தோய்வார் மொழி. In the 13th verse, Bhagavan was saying, giving up body identification, that is Dehanma Bhavam, is everything. And that leads to the ultimate liberation. So here he has mentioned some 18 items. தானம், தவம், வேள்வி, தன்மம், யோகம், பக்தி, வானம், பொருள், சாந்தி, வாய்மை, அருள், மோனநிலை, சாகாமல் சாவு, சார்பு, சார்துறவு, வீடு, இன்பம், இவை யாவும் what? தேகான்ம பாவமரல். So that is the only thing, to give up the dehanma bhavam. That is, I am the body identification. And then in the 14th verse, he has beautifully explained what is bhakti yoga, what is karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga and jnana yoga. See, karma yoga means what? There is an urge from within to go on acting in the world outside. So to change the attitude and perform our action. That is karma yoga. And bhakti means what? The devotee feel a sense of separation from the Lord. He is longing to become one with the Lord. So that is what he says, vibhakti. So bhakti yoga is to put all efforts or to develop devotion to Lord so that to become one with the Lord. Similarly, viyogam. The yogi feels he is not now united with the self. So he is putting all efforts to become united one with the true self, that is within himself. And jnana is, he feels he is now, jnana yoga means he feels he is very ignorant. He wants to know the self. So he put forward efforts to know the self. He says all these things, when you give up the body identification and abide in the self, everything is automatically achieved. That is, the fruit of the karma yoga is achieved. And the end result of bhakti yoga is achieved. The end result of dhyana yoga is achieved. And jnana yoga is achieved. For everything you have to give up the body identification and to inquire who am I, and dive deep within, so that all the yogas are taken care. So here it is all inclusive. This vichara marga is all inclusive, because whatever end result you are going to gain through all these margas is already achieved by the vichara marga. That is what he is trying to say. By giving up the body identification and to abide in the self, everything else is achieved. And then in the next 15th and 16th verse, he was mentioning about the siddhis and how it is not healthy, not good for the sadhaka, how it will pull him down, etc. So we have seen it elaborately yesterday. So we will not go into it again. Now we shall move on to the 17th verse. பூபரம் தாங்கயிரை போலியுயிர் தாங்கலது கோபுரம் தாங்கியுரு கோரணிகான் மாபரங்குள் வண்டி செலுவான் சுமையை வண்டி வையாது தலை கொண்டு நலி கொண்டதவர் கோது பூபரம் தாங்கயிரை போலியுயிர் தாங்கலது கோபுரம் தாங்கியுரு கோரணிகான் மாபரங்கொள் வண்டி செலுவான் சுமையை வண்டி வையாது தலை கொண்டு நலி கொண்டதெவர்கோது. See, this is a beautiful verse actually. பூபரம் தாங்க இறை. இறை means the God, the Lord. பூபரம் தாங்க. He is carrying all the burden of the world. Because he is the creator, he is a sustainer, and he is the destroyer. So, the God or the Lord, he is carrying all the burden of this Bhuparam. Bhuparam is all the world. Means he is running the show actually. And he knows his business. If this is so, poli uyir tangaladu. Poli uyir means this uyir, this jiva, who himself is poli. Poli means what? Not true. You know, he is false. So this jiva who is himself false, meaning he has no existence of his own. Because of the Atma Chaitanyam, he appears to exist. If you inquire his true nature, he is not. Only the self is. So this polyir, this false jiva, he thinks Thangal. He is carrying the burden. Meaning I have to take care of my own self, my family, my community. He feels as if he has to carry the whole burden. That is so ridiculous. How it is ridiculous? Gopuram tangi uru koranihan. Korani means it is as ridiculous as, see, in the Gopuram, in the temple, Gopuram means the tower they say, and the temple tower. The Gopuram, see, those days they used to place a doll, a bommai, as if that doll is holding on the Gopuram. Have you seen that? Yeah. So if you see that doll, it is made of clay only. If you see the doll, the facial expression is such that it is as if, you know, carrying the whole of the Gopuram. Gopuram means the tower of the temple. But how stupid it is. That Gopuram, that bommai, that doll itself is part of the Gopuram only. But you know, those days, our Mahatmas, our great forefathers, they designed the doll in such a way to tell us, it is like this, your Kartrutva Abhimana. This doll is designed in such a way that as if carrying the whole of the burden of the whole of the Gopuram. And the facial expression also, like, you know, with great struggle, the doll is holding on to that Gopuram. But if you see the whole Gopuram and the doll and everything is carried by the foundation. Is that not so? By the earth, let us say. So Gopuram tangi uru. Uru means the form, the doll, the uru. Gopuram tangi uru, the doll which is carrying the whole Gopuram. Koranihan, is it not ridiculous? Similarly, we think we are holding on to the whole of the burden of the world. So Bhagavan says, Ma parankol vandi selu. Vandi seluvan means a man is traveling, let us say, in a big vehicle, let us say a train or something, let us say. Anything, a vehicle, a big vehicle which is carrying all the load, maybe a bullock cart also. Here only vandi means a sort of a vehicle. He is traveling in that vehicle which is carrying already all the load, so much of load. Ma paramkol. Ma param means so much of load it is carrying that vehicle. Appadi seluvan சுமையை வண்டி வையாது தலை கொண்டு நலிதல் நலி கொண்டது எவர் கோது. If that fellow, if he is not keeping down his burden on the vehicle, and if he is carrying on his own head, then it is whose fault? Kodu means fault, kutram. Whose fault it is? Vandi Mahabarankol Vandi Seluvan, that person who is traveling in that vehicle, Sumayai means the burden. Vandi Vayyadu, without keeping on the vehicle, Talai Hondu Nali, if he is carrying on his head, Talai Hondu means when he is carrying on his head, and when he is struggling, whose fault it is? If he thinks, yo Pavam, the vehicle already it is carrying so much of burden, how can I allow that to carry this burden also? I will carry my burden. If he says, how stupid he is. That vehicle is only carrying him and all his burden and the other burden also. So if he thinks he is carrying the burden, how stupid he is. Whose fault is this? If he is struggling, if he is suffering, whose fault it is? So therefore, all our masters, including Bhagavan, they say, why are you unnecessarily carrying the burden? Just unburden yourself and relax. That which is carrying the whole burden of the world will carry everything. He has his own plans. He knows how to conduct his business. So therefore, just relax. This one thing if we can understand really and can really implement, we can really live a good life here. Meaning what? Lord will take care of everything. For that you should believe in God, a higher power which is actually running the show. And then you should have the faith that He will take care of everything. He is the ocean of compassion. He is like my father and my mother. And He will not let me down. Ena kena prakarena. By some means He will take care of me and He will take care of everything. So with this faith, we have to keep the burden at His feet, unburden ourselves. Then we can relax. See, yesterday only we were discussing, I was telling a story. Once Mahatma Gandhi was going on a ship, it seems, in a ship, in the ocean. So there was a storm, and there was so much of turbulence, it seems. And everybody was panicking, running helter-skelter. And one fellow, one young boy, he was happy playing with his ball. He was happy. He was not at all worried. So Mahatma was so wonderstruck. So he asked the boy, see, all of us are panicking, running here, there. How are you so cool? How are you not worried? Then that boy said, my mother is with me. My mother is with me means what? As long as my mother is there, she will take care of me anyway. Why should I worry? See, a very innocent statement. My mother is with me. Mere paas maa hai. The famous Hindi dialogue, it seems, filmy dialogue. So that fellow said, my mother is with me, she will take care. See, that faith we should have. Whatever happens, the Lord is there, He will take care. In His own way, He will take care. So with this faith, if we can walk the path, then I tell you, then only we can settle down. Then only we can close our eyes and we can turn within. If we don't unburden ourselves, we can never remain quiet within ourselves. That is why in meditation, I always suggest the first step is to pray to the Guru who is within. Means offering everything at his feet. Oh Lord, you take care of everything. And I don't know the goal, I don't know the path. So you guide me. And everything you take care. Like that, if you offer everything at his feet and then you sit quiet, there will be peace, at least for some time. Because our mind is so chanchala. So therefore, this is a wonderful thing actually. There is one thing we should learn from Bhagavan's philosophy. 17th was very important. If we think we have to carry the burden of our own lives and of the world, it is very ridiculous. As the doll which is appearing to be carrying the burden of the whole Gopuram. And if a person is not unburdening himself and carrying his own burden when he is traveling in a vehicle, it is whose fault? It is not God's fault. It is his own fault, stupidity. So similarly, we are carrying the burden. See, we have to do our duties, no doubt about it. We have to do our duties, we have to take care of things in our own way, but we should not be very anxious always, very disturbed, and always, worried. That way we are dissipating so much of our energies actually. See, when we conserve all those energy, we can do wonders. But most of the time, we are dissipating all our energies in unnecessary anxieties and fear about the future, worries. So the wise one is one who knows everything happens according to its prarabdha. Or a bhakta, he says, everything is Lord's will. Unnishtam ennishtam. The jnani says, all these have got no meaning whatsoever. It's all mind's projection. And I am the self, paripurna vastu, full stop. So if we can take any one of these stand, we will be all right. But we don't take any stand properly. Either if you think everything happens according to the prarabdha, there ends the matter. Or if you say Lord is there, he will take care of everything, I need not worry about anything, then also life is taken care. Or if as a jnani, if you say all this is mind's projection, it has no meaning whatsoever, then also it is done. But we think I have to do everything, I have to take care of the world, I have to take care of myself. This is kartrutva abhimana. This is the ego which is asserting itself. And the natural corollary is bhoktrutva abhimana. I am enjoying, I am suffering. I. Always we live as I, and therefore we suffer. Misery is directly proportional to ego. Our Acharya says, misery is directly proportional to ego. More the ego, more the misery. If somebody is very miserable, they cannot pinpoint to anybody. It is because of their own selves, their own egos. See, people may look very, pavama, but they may have big egos within. See, sometimes people may look very, boisterous and all. They may be innocent, they may not have much ego. We can't, judge. So some people, since they are very quiet and very, pava, sadhu-like, don't underestimate. They may have big egos also. So therefore, when you carry the burden, you become miserable. If you unburden, you are happy. So the wise enjoy, otherwise suffer. Okay. And now, see, till from 13th to 17th, it is Bhagavan's original. He wrote in Tamil only, and it is original. And from 18th onwards, a new chapter starts. This is called as Hridaya Vidya. This Vidya is called as Hridaya Vidya. And it is very unique. Bhagavan has expounded this in a beautiful way. Most elaborate fashion he has expounded this Hridaya Vidya. See, in our traditional text, we don't find this Hridaya Vidya that much. See, there is mention of heart and all. If you go to Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji, he says integration of the head and the heart. Head and means the thought and the emotions. That is heart. He defines like that. Each Mahatma have got their own definition, but here very clearly Bhagavan points out what is Hridayam. Hridaya Vidya, next 7 words is part of Hridaya Vidya. And in Ramana Gita also this Hridaya Vidya comes in 4th or 5th chapter, I suppose. And there also beautifully explained what is Hridayam. So if you study this Ulladanarpada Anubandham 18th and to I think 22nd or 23rd words, and also in Ramana Gita I think 4th or 5th chapter, the Hridaya Vidya, then you understand everything about Hridayam. These are the two texts where this is dealt elaborately. இருமுலை நடுமார் படிவயிரிதன் மேல் இருமு பொருளுள நிறம் பல இவற்றுள் பொருளுள நிறம் பல இவற்றுள் ஒரு பொருளாம் பலரும்பென உள்ளே ஆம்பலரும்பென உள்ளே இருவிரல் வலத்தே இருப்பதும் இதயம் இருமுலை நடுமார் படிவயிரிதன் மேல் இருமு பொருளுள நிறம் பல இவற்றுள் ஒரு பொருளாம்பலரும்பென உள்ளே இருவிரல் வலத்தே இருப்பதும் இதயம். Here Bhagavan is talking about spiritual heart, not the usual blood pumping heart, which is a physical organ. He is not talking about that. He is talking about a spiritual heart within ourselves, which is the source of all thoughts, meaning from where all the thoughts rise and where all the thoughts subside. So he is indicating a sthanam in our own body, so that it helps us in our upasana, in our dhyana. At the same time, he wants, Idayam means that alone is, it is Atma, the self. Therefore, ullumum piramum sarvamum vyabithirupadu idayam. It is in and out and everywhere. But for the sake of dhyana, for the sake of upasana, a sthanam is indicated. Please understand. Within the body. But it will not be visible to the eyes. If you do open heart surgery and all, and then you try to, find out, you will not find it. இது என்ன ஆட்டம் சுவாமிஜி, இது கள்ள ஆட்டம். You say it is there, but you cannot see it. That is how it is very subtle. It is not visible to the eyes. There are so many things not visible to the eyes. Like dogs bark so violently. You go and see there is nothing, but to their eyes they see something. Yes, it is. See, X-rays and ultraviolet rays, they are not seen to the naked eyes, but they are. Is that not so? So therefore, here he is talking about something very subtle. So what he is saying here, இருமுலை நடுமார்பு, மார்பு, and அடிவயிர் இதன் மேல். We have to split like that. இருமுலை நடுமார்பு. Nadu means, இருமுலை means between these two, marbu, in the in-between. In-between. நடுமார்பு. அடிவயிர் இதன் மேல். அடிவயிறு means the stomach, na? Stomach portion, அடிவயிறு, the lower portion of the stomach. So above that. So below the chest, the center of the chest, and just above the stomach. So there. இரு முப்பொருள் உள. இரு முப்பொருள் means there are 6 items. 2 into 3. இரு முப்பொருள். முப்பொருள் means 3. இரு முப்பொருள். Meaning there are 2 sets of 3 items. We can say that way. Meaning there are 6 items. We don't know what items he is talking about. It is not mentioned here. He says, இரு முப்பொருள் உள நிறம் பல. And they are of different colors. இவற்றுள், among this, ஒரு பொருளாம், ஒரு பொருள் ஆம்பல் அரும்பென உள்ளே. We have to split like that. Among these 6 items, one item is ஆம்பல் அரும்பென உள்ளே. See, இவற்றுள் ஒரு பொருள். That is how we have to split. otherwise you will not get the meaning. That is the trick here. இவற்றுள் ஒரு பொருள், one item is there, ஆம்பல் அரும்பென உள்ளே. ஆம்பல் அரும்பு. See, ஆம்பல் அரும்பு means அல்லி. He says அல்லி மொட்டுன்னு சொல்றார் தமிழ். அல்லி means lily, we say na, water lily. It's not lotus. Lotus is different, lily is different. You know the difference, na? So ஆம்பல் அரும்பென உள்ளே means as if the lily which is closed. It is there. ஆம்பல் அரும்பென உள்ளே இருவிரல் வலத்தே இருப்பது இதயம். And இருவிரல் means 2 fingers. Balate, 2 fingers just right of the chest. There the heart is, the spiritual heart is. So exactly he is pinpointing where the heart is. So I will once again repeat. So iru mulai naduve, nadumarbu. So the center of our chest, just below that, and above the lower portion of the stomach, adivairu male, and iruviral valatte, 2 fingers just right, slightly right, 2 fingers from the center, 2 fingers slightly right. There is the idayam. It is like the water lily flower. It is not a fully blossomed. Budding state, correct. It is like this. See, that is why certain Mahatmas, for their organization, they have certain logo. They always put lotus, and also this kind of a lotus or lily. Can you close this? So that is Hridayam, he says. And what is that Hridayam? That is where all the thoughts rise. From there only all the thoughts rise. And into that, all the thoughts go back. And that is the center of the universe. Why? Because the world is nothing but thoughts. So all the thoughts rise from there and goes back. So that is Hridayam. Ayam means this. Hrid means center. So this is the center of everything, Bhagavan says. And then once a youngster asked him, Bhagavan, you are talking about something called as Hridayam. And the doctor said the Hridayam means generally it is in the left, slightly left, not in the left, slightly tilted towards left. But you say it is 2 fingers right of your chest. What is this? What is the pramana, he asked. Where is the proof? Is it written somewhere in our scriptures? You know what Bhagavan said? It is my experience. He said it is my experience. That is pramana. I have seen it, I know it, and it is my experience, he said. When such a great exalted Mahatma say, it is my experience, there ends the matter. But Bhagavan, out of compassion, he said, yes, it is mentioned. In Sita-Upanishad, he refers to Sita-Upanishad. That is Upanishad called Sita-Upanishad. And also, in one Malayala Ayurveda textbook, Ashtanga Hridayam, or Ashtanga Hridayam. That the book name is Ashtanga Hridayam. There is a Malayala Ayurveda textbook. There he says it is mentioned about this Hridayam, which is on the right. And he also, he quotes, just like that, he quotes it. And then he quotes even biblical statement. The fool's heart is tilted towards left, whereas the wise man's heart is tilted towards right. That is Jesus Christ. This is a biblical statement actually. So Bhagavan quotes that also. Bhagavan knows everything. So he quotes that also. So Bhagavan says, Hridayam is the sthanam where the thoughts rise, where the thoughts subside. And that is the center of everything. And that is within our body. Just 2 fingers right, just below the chest and just above the lower portion of the stomach. It is there. And he mentioned something about 6 items. He has not elaborated on it. So among that, one is like the water lily, and that is Hridayam, he says. It is not open fully, it is closed, like budding or bud. So that is Hridayam, he says. And then further he explains. Adan muha mihalula dagamula sirudulai. Adanila sadiyoda mandula dirundamam. Adanaya siritula ahilamanaadigal. அது வழி மனதொழி அவற்றினதிருப்பிடம். அதன் முக மிகலுள தகமுள சிறு துளை. அதனில சாதியோடமந்துளதிருந்தமம். அதனையா சிரித்துள அகிலமனாடிகள். அது வழி மனதொழி அவற்றினதிருப்பிடம். அதன் முகம் இகல் உளது. You have to split it that way. அதன் முகம் இகல் உளது, meaning he was pointing about as a water lily or something, no? So he says its mouth portion is closed. அதன் முகம், முகம் means the mouth, அதனுடைய வாய்ப்புறம். முகம் இகல் உளது. You have to split it like that. இகல் உளது. It is closed actually. That is the problem now. Our heart is not open, not fully blossomed. It is closed. Ihal ulladu means it is closed. Okay. Aham ula siru tulai. But still there is a small opening, a tulai, a hole inside. Aham uladu siru tulai. See how minutely he is explaining. See, as if he has seen it. He must have seen it, or he must know it. So he says the mouth portion is closed. The water lily like this thing there in the heart. So the mouth portion is closed, and in that there is siru tulai. Tulai means a hole. Not outside, inside he says. Siru tulai. Aham uladu siru tulai. அதனில் ஆசாதியோடு அமர்ந்துள்ளது இருந்தமம். இருள் தமம் means darkness, which is nothing but ignorance. Along with அதனில் ஆசாதியோடு அமர்ந்துள்ளது இருந்தமம். Along with all desires, all vasanas, the darkness is there. Darkness means the ignorance, he says. Tamam means darkness. Irul tamam, he says. That is darkness which is nothing but ignorance. So in the heart, whatever it is, so when you peep inside that hole, inside he says, that is the place of all vasanas. Asadiyodu. Asadi means desires, etc. So what is the root of desire? That is vasanas only. Asadiyodu irunda irul tamam. There is the ignorance. See, it's all dramatization or objectification. Don't, get lost in this. Because then ignorance is a sort of a thing which is inside something. See, it's all, I don't know why it is said. There must be some reason to it, to help us out only in our sadhana and all. But if you have learned traditional Vedanta, classical Vedanta, if you develop this kind of concepts, it will be very difficult then. Because at the end of the day, from the higher standpoint, there is no ignorance. At the higher standpoint, there is nothing other than the self. You know, all these things are explained. I'm not saying it is wrong. Please don't misunderstand me. When Bhagavan says how can it be wrong, it is all truth only. But don't imagine things, because the imagination may be a biggest obstacle at the end, at the later part. But Bhagavan says, in that heart only is the ignorance and all the vasanas. Along with it, all the vasanas. Seat of ignorance and all vasanas. Okay. And not only that, Adanai Asarituladu Ahilama Nadigal. And the center, that is the heart, is there, and all the other nadis. Nadis means what? We call it in a very loose term, we can call it as veins or arteries or whatever. But this is subtle. Yoga Shastra talks about nadis. Sushumna Nadi and all. Surupingalai, Amrita Nadi is called Sushumna Nadi. So through which the Kundalini Shakti goes up, that's what it is said. So that nadis are connected there in the heart. Adanai Asarittu Uladu Ahila Ma Nadigal. All the nadis, there are so much of nadis, so many of them nadis. So all those nadis which are responsible for the transmission of this subtle energy, they are all connected there. Adanai Asarituladu Ahilama Nadigal. So the heart is a center in which all the nadis flowing everywhere is connected. And not only that, Adu Vadi Mana Dori Avattin Iruppidam. So it is the place of Vadi, the prana, Mana, the mind, Ori, the light. So he says this heart is the center where not only the vasanas are there, and that is the abode of, or that is the place from where prana originates. The mana comes out, and also the Atma Chaitanya as reflected consciousness. So that is the center of everything. See, whatever we have learnt all these days, heart means what? That is the center, that is the self actually. It is not even the abode of self, it is self by itself. So there he says it is the abode of all the ajnana along with all the vasanas. So vasanas are the cause for the other vyavahara or the samsara, or the world, creation. And if you see personally, the Vadi means not Vali, Vadi means what? Prana. Without prana shakti, nothing happens in our physiological system. And then mana, where you feel, where you think. So that is also is originating from here. And Ori, without the light of consciousness, nothing is. That also is originating from here. Meaning that is the place of mana, Vadi, prana, mana, Ori. Adan Iruppidam. So this is Hridaya Vidya. So there is one spiritual heart. Just 2 fingers on your right, in the middle of your chest, just little below it and little above the lower portion of the stomach. It is as if it is like the closed lily, water lily. In that there is a hole. So inside if you see, that is the place where all the vasanas are there along with the ignorance, and where all the nadis are connected, and that is the place from where the prana, the mind and the Ori, the light emanates, originates. So that is the heart. If you ask Bhagavan, how do you know all this? He says, I know it. It is my experience. Nobody, I suppose, have given this kind of elaborate, clear-cut idea about Hridayam. So this is really celebrated as Hridaya Vidya in Bhagavan's circle, in Ramana Maharshi's circle. Like, if you know Hridaya Vidya and if you can talk about Hridaya Vidya, you are considered to be a great scholar on Bhagavan's philosophy. Okay. Must have been mentioned, but not in this detail, I suppose. But Bhagavan says Sita Upanishad. If it is Mahanayana, Bhagavan would have said no. But his contention is in Sita Upanishad and also in that Ayurvedic text, Ashtanga Hridayam. So that is what Bhagavan has mentioned, these two references he has given. So you got the point?
Yes.
So here it is. Now, moving on. How one has to meditate on this heart? Now Bhagavan is going to explain. See, this is very important. Nah? This heart is mentioned only for the sake of meditation or upasana. So now he is going to explain how one has to meditate on this heart. Idayamalar kuhayagama ilahiraye Guhesanana yettapatton Idamanaya guhesanyanenum sogam Bhavaneda ninnudambil Nidamuruna nenumdidambo labhyasa Nenumdidambo labhyasa Balatala devai nirkir Tala devai nirkir Sidayudana nenumavitai sengadiron Edirirul por sidayum mandre Idayamalar kuhayagama ilahiraye Guhesanana yettapatton Idamanaya Nidamanaya guhesanyanenum sogam Bhavaneda ninnudambil Yennudambil illa Ninnudambil Nidamuruna nenumdidambo labhyasa Balatala devai nirkir Sidayudalna nenumavittai sengadiron Edirirul pol sidayum mandre Idaya malar kuhai Ahama ilahu iraye Guhesanana yettapatton Idaya malar kuhai ahama. So where is this Guhesan? The Lord Guhesan. Where is he residing? He said, Idaya malar kuhai ahama. So he is residing in the cave of the heart lotus. Idaya malar. Idaya malar means heart lotus. Idaya malar kuhai, in the cave, ahama, as his abode. Ahama means here abode, as his house. Ahama, ilahu iraye, one who is residing there, that supreme, that divine principle, Guhesanana yettapatton. He is called as Guhesan. He is very famously called as Guhesan. Why? He is residing in the Guha. Which Guha? The heart cave. Idaya Malar Guha. Lotus heart cave. See, that is why we have named our kutia as Idaya Kamalam. Lotus heart. Because the Lord is seated in the lotus heart only always. So, Idaya Malar Kuhai, in the cave of the lotus heart, Ahama, as his own abode, the Lord is residing. and he is famously known as Guhesanana Ethapatton. Ethapatton means he is famously worshipped as Guhesan. Ethapatton. Nidam Anaya Guhesan Yan Yenum Soham Bhavanidan. So what you have to do, Nidam means whatever, always what you have to do, Anaya Guhesan Yan. This Guhesan is my own self, I am. Yan Yenum Soham Bhavanidan. So you have to practice this Soham Bhavana. Saha Aham. Saha means he. He means the Supreme Lord. Aham means I. So this Guhesan, who is residing in my own heart, he is my real self. See, though it is said the Lord is residing in the Hridaya Guha, actually Hridayam itself is Lord only. Bhagavan elsewhere he points out, Hridayam itself is God only. It's not he is residing in God, in Hridayam. Hridayam itself is God only, or the self only. But here, for the sake of Upasana, he is saying, now let you imagine or think in your mind that this Hridayam is there, and inside there is Guhesan. The cave of the heart, there is Guhesan. Now you have to practice, or you have to do this bhavana. That is, this Guhesan is my own self. I tell you, this is Ananya Bhavana. Aniya Bhavatin Avan Ahamahum Ananya Bhavame Undibara. Anaithin Uttamam Undibara. We have studied this in Upadesa Undiyar, if you remember right. So instead of keeping God as a third person somewhere in the heavens, to keep the Lord as one's own self and meditate is Uttama Bhavam, is a real Bhavam. So now here it is said, you meditate on the Lord, Guhesan, who is seated in your own heart, in the cave of your heart, and then with the Bhavana that Guhesan I am, Soham. Anaya Guhesan Yan Yenum Soham Bhavani. How long you have to practice? Till what time you have to practice? This is what said is here. In Udambir Nidamuru Nan Yenum Didambol. Now we think this body is me. We think, Didama, without any doubt. We are very sure that I am this body. How much sure we are? Without any doubt, we feel I am this body. This much of conviction you should have, I am Guhesan. Till that point, you have to do this sadhana. See, you have to understand beautifully. Bhavanidan in Udambil, in this body, Nidamurum Nan Ennum Didambol. Didambol means we firmly believe that I am this body. Like that, this idea that I am this Guhesan should become very firm in you. Till that point of time, you have to meditate. Now there is a bhavana. This is also a bhavana only. I am the body. Now you are giving another bhavana, antidote. No, I am not this body. I am the Guhesan, the Lord who is residing in my own heart. I am that. So again and again and again and again you meditate on that. Till that point of time, you develop this firm conviction without any doubt that I am that. Naninnum Didambol Abhyasa Bhalattal. Bhava Bhalattinal Bhavanatita Sadbhava Tiruttale Undibara. So you have to remember all those things, then only you can grasp. So Abhyasa Bhalattal means with the strength of this Abhyasa. Abhyasa Bhalattal Attevai Nirkil. If you remain as the Lord. See, first you meditate saying that I am that Guhesan. who is seated in my own heart. I am that Guhesan. Till it nullifies the idea that I am the body. Till that point of time, if you meditate, I am that Guhesan, I am that Guhesan, and slowly you remain as Guhesan. What you meditate, that you become. Actually, you are Guhesan only. You forgot yourself and you start taking yourself with this body. That is the root cause of all anartham, all disaster. And now slowly you are retrieving back, saying that I am this Guhesan, not this body, I am this Guhesan, I am this Guhesan. This is a bhavana, soham bhavana. So more you do this bhavana, with the strength of this bhavana, you remain as the Guhesan only. See, this is the beauty of bhavana also. That what you meditate, that you become. It is not a joke. But you have to sincerely, you have to meditate, and with firm conviction you have to meditate. My Gurunadar has said, my Bhagavan has said, I am that Guhesan, I am not this body. Whatever you understand about the Guhesan doesn't matter. But I am that which is residing in the heart. Heart is the right, this heart. He is residing as Guhesan. I am that Guhesan. If you meditate on him that way, and Devai Nirkir, if you remain as that Deva, Devan, that is the Guhesan, what will happen? Sidayum udal nanenum avittai. Sidayum means what? It will be destroyed. What will be destroyed? Udal nanenum avittai. This body I am, this ignorance will be destroyed. Sidayum udal nanenum avittai. Udal nan means what? I am this body. This aviddai, this ignorance is destroyed. How it is destroyed? An analogy is given. Sengadiron edir irul bol. When the sun appears, darkness is completely destroyed. Sengadiron, effulgent sun, Sengadiron, red hot effulgent sun. When he rises, Sengadiron mun, in his front, the darkness cannot survive. It has to run away. It has to perish. So like the darkness which perishes in front of the shining sun, this idea of I am the body will be totally destroyed when this bhavana of I am Guhesan is entertained in the heart continuously. It is not only 20 minutes I meditate and other 24.5 hours I remain as body, I work as body, I function as body. Slowly we have to feel more and more that I am that Guhesan, not this body. By training this can be done. By one point attention can be done. Slowly we have to think I am not this body. See, whatever you understand about philosophy or not, be sure that you are not this body. Then you have taken the first step in spiritual sadhana, spiritual journey. And then when you can meditate that I am that supreme power, that intelligence which is shining in the heart as I, not this body mind, but shining as the true self that I am. If this much you can understand, if this much you can practice, that is it. Everything is done. See, now Bhagavan has given two distinct paths. One is you inquire, who am I? From where this thought is rising, and you abide there. That is Vichara Marga. Here he is giving another technique. In the heart there shines the Guhesan. Guhesan is a name given. Since because he is residing in Guha, he is called as Guhesan. So the self only he is mentioning here as Guhesan. So that Guhesan I am, Soham Bhavana. He says this Bhavana also helps. In Ulladinarpati he says this helps. But this is not Vichara, but this helps, he says. Therefore, if you can again and again entertain this Bhavana, that I am this Guhesan, I am this Guhesan. Till what point of time? Now how we feel that I am the body, how dilemma we feel, firmly we believe. So that much firm conviction we should have that I am that Guhesan. till that point of time you have to meditate, and if you remain as Guhesan, then this ignorance that I am body will be totally destroyed once and for all. What happens if the ignorance of I am the body is destroyed? That is Jiva Bhava. If it goes, you won't see any world other than or apart from you. Everything is self. Everything is self. And that is bliss. When there is other, there is always fear. When there is no other, there is always peace and bliss. Actually, you know what? These forms of the Lord in our temples, they show Abhaya Mudra. Abhayam. You know what is the meaning of Abhayam? Kanchi Paramacharya says, Abhaya means they are indicating that there is nothing other than you. So there is no need to fear. Actual Abhaya means there is nothing other than you. So there is nothing to fear. It is not that I will give you Abhayam, don't worry. It is not that. Kanchi Paramacharya explains. Abhayam means, please understand, there is nothing other. So you need not worry about anything. You need not fear anything. That is Abhayam, real Abhayam. The idea that there is nothing other than the self, that is real Abhayam. That is what the Lord, the God, the goddesses in our temples, they are indicating. Don't worry, don't fear, because there is nothing to fear here. There is only the self, and it cannot be destroyed. Nothing can happen to the self. All this Sukha Dukkha is only for the Jiva and not for the self. All this Mana, Apamana, everything is for this Jiva. If you can take this stand, if somebody hurts you, they are not hurting me. They are only hurting the false ego. That has to be hurt. That has to die. You take this point, and you alone, you also start abusing or, start hitting the ego. That is the way to go forward, actually. See, we so much identify with the ego. When somebody hurts, we say, oh, how can you hurt me like this? But ego is false. It is the false self. So it is better to get hit. Instead of pampering the ego, if somebody is hitting the ego, it is better. So today, Hridaya Vidya, there is one spiritual heart, which is the center of everything, because all the thoughts rise from there, all the thoughts subside in it. Where is it? It is in the midst of our chest, just little below, little above the lower portion of the stomach, 2 fingers right. That is a sthanam. And how is it? It is like a lily, closed. So its mouth is closed, but there is a hole. Inside, there is the ignorance, along with all the vasanas. And there all the nadis are connected. And there, that is the place or the origination of this prana, mind, and the light of consciousness. So that is Hridayam. In that Hridayam, you have to meditate. The Lord who is residing in the cave of the heart, Guhesan, he is residing there, and I am that Guhesan. Soham Bhavana. If you continuously meditate saying that I am the Guhesan, and when you abide as Guhesan, then what happens? The idea of I am the body is destroyed once and for all. Dehatma Bhava Maratter. Yesterday we saw, when the Dehatma Bhavam is destroyed, everything is taken care. That is Dhanam, that is Tapas, that is Velvi. Yesterday we saw all the 18 items. So that is everything. And then you remain as your own self. Like the sun when it appears, the darkness cannot remain. It will run away. So in front of this, Om Purnamadha Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudhachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.